Welcome back to Sportscene 13. We're now joined by Brad Pensyl, the head coach of the Pocono West Panthers, who gave us a real hard time at the beginning of the year. You weren't even ranked. You said, we're not giving you any love. And look where you are here at the end of the regular season. Very fortunate, and you know, like I told the kids, we should feel blessed we're in this position, and hopefully good things will happen for us. A lot of people didn't think much of you guys before the season. You lost a lot last year, thought, okay, here's the season where they're going to drop off, and you end up having one of your best ever. I didn't think much of us either in the beginning of the year, to tell you the truth, but yes, been very a very rewarding season for me personally as a coach, and I think for the rest of our coaching staff. Just a great group of players and kids that we have in our program, and I couldn't be more proud of our kids right now. Not just for the fact that we're 19-3, but just the way they conduct themselves in the building, on the basketball floor, and I'm very proud of them. How did it happen? I mean, was it hard to, you know, get a bunch of new guys out there and pick it up right away? I mean, did it happen right away? I mean, did they mesh right away? Was it easier? Was it tough starting out with a whole new starting five? Yeah, we weren't very good in the beginning. You know, there's a lot of adjustments we had to make. We had to tweak an awful lot of things, but the kids get along very well, which helps. You know, and once you have a group of players that get along and they buy into the program, then you know, then we can move on from there. And I think probably the trust part was the key for this team. I knew we'd win some games, but certainly, you know, this has been beyond my expectations for this group. Got to feel good Wednesday being on your home court. Yeah, I like that. We don't lose there much. You know, we've struggled with Eastburg North in the past, but you know, playing at home, I think we've only lost maybe 3 games in the last 4 years on that floor, so you know, we feel pretty confident playing on our own floor. Let's talk about some of the other guys. We met 3 of them here tonight. Talk about some of the other guys that have stepped up for you this year. I think, you know, like one thing our kids on the show alluded to is the fact that we are, you know, we are a team, and I don't like to do an awful lot of individualistic things, but certainly guys like Keon Scott, I think, has had an outstanding year for us, and I think Jake Boyle and Jaquan Bryant, obviously, they're playing our 2 and our 3 spot for us, and Kevin Neiman has been a huge surprise for us. But I would say the other kids, you know, that we have coming off the bench, Quindell Bryce and Ty Dixon, you know, those kids have really stepped up and played well. And, you know, different games we've had different people that step up and do the job for us. You had a tough one the other night. You played arch rival Pocono Mountain East, and I mentioned it to these guys, especially Tynell, the way he shot. We've really looked at free throw shooting, and teams have struggled mightily. You guys shot the lights out practically, especially Tynell, from the line in that ball game when you had to. I mean, I think you shot somewhere upwards of 45 free throws. And we, you know, and you know, they had fouls to get the ball, so obviously, you know, I want the ball in our best shooter's hand at that point, so that'd be Tynell, and he's a very good foul shooter, but I don't like talking about foul shooting a whole lot. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those things I don't like to discuss a whole lot, but certainly we understand as a group that foul shooting is a huge part of a basketball game, and you need to make foul shots, particularly at the end of the game, to win. Let's talk about this team. Was there a point where you said, you know, okay, wow, we are a pretty good team. We can do a lot of things. I mean, was there a point where the light came on, or was it a gradual thing through the season? I think it was a gradual thing. I thought when we beat Scranton High School on the road in the beginning of the year, I thought, hey, we might not be too bad, because Scranton was pretty good. And then we went down to Allen and beat Allen on their floor, and I think Loire had alluded to it earlier. You know, we've won some very close games, and some very close games on the road. And some games where we've been behind, and this group has a certain toughness to them I haven't seen in a basketball team for a while, and
they keep their composure on the floor. You know, our stuff is very scripted when we do things. It's not by accident what's going on. So as long as I think that, you know, the team, the kids follow what we're supposed to be doing, you know, we have pretty much confidence in each other that we'll be able to get the job done.
Mountain Valley playoffs this week. How do you feel going in, and how do you feel about the 3 other teams that you have the possibility of facing?
I'm always nervous about everybody, so, you know, it doesn't. I said to the kids the other night, team that actually scared me was Pleasant Valley. We have a bad matchup against them. Kenny's a very good coach, and I was kind of glad to get rid of them. So Eastburg North is, you know, has always played us tough. So, you know, I'm not even thinking about Friday. Just like I don't want the kids to be thinking about Friday night. We need to take care of East Stroudsburg North first, and then we move on from there. And, you know, we have bigger goals that we certainly like to see, and you know, one of those would be for this team to get into the state playoffs. I think that's the biggest goal. I think that's a goal we should be working towards, and hopefully we can get this group of players to the states.
What about districts? There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams that have kind of been Jekyll and Hyde, both in your league and down in the Lehigh Valley. I mean, some have played some really great basketball. You know, what are you going to be facing come district time?
You know, it's hard to tell. This year has kind of been a weird year. You know, I think there's 8 teams that probably could win that district championship, and I don't think anybody should be surprised if like a 7th seed or a 9th seed ends up winning that thing. We've played every team except Whitehall, and you know, certainly we feel good that we can beat those teams, and obviously there's some teams in our league that can also go down and compete for the championship. You know, I don't know if we're going to win it or win one game or not, but certainly we have an opportunity to advance.
When you guys go down, when East goes down, when Stroudsburg goes down there, when North goes down there, do you guys, you know, I know you're going down for your school and your team, but do you also carry the league banner?
I don't know what those other schools do. I personally don't. No, I think it's something we shouldn't focus on. You know, we're down here playing for the Mountain Valley Conference. No, we're not. We're playing for Pocono Mountain West, and I got too many things to worry about with my own basketball team, let alone worrying about carrying the banner for 6 other schools. So certainly it's a nice thing if we do win a district championship. Yeah. You know, you can say, hey, we are a member of the Mountain Valley Conference. That's, you know, that would be you know, something that would be nice. I think the Lehigh Valley Conference respects our league in basketball very highly. So, you know, I don't think there's any question that those coaches and teams down there have a great deal of respect for us. So, you know, we're here to represent Pocono Mountain West High School.
Finally, you guys have a lot of youngsters. You're going to lose a couple of guys we met here, but you have a lot of youngsters. I know it's early. I know you don't want to be thinking about next year, but a lot of people are pointing to you next year already. Let's talk a little bit about the future of this program. Obviously, you've proven that you can turn around and reload quickly, but you got to feel good about the next year, the next couple of years.
Oh, I do. I feel very good about our basketball program. You know, we're solid, 7th grade on up. I have very good coaches. We have kids that understand what it takes to be a member of our basketball program. There's no guarantees. You still got to go out and work, you know. And I think that's one thing I've told people, you know, some people get this misconception. My kids work very hard. We're working. As soon as basketball ends, we're in the weight room in March. So, you know, it's not just like we're rolling the ball out and we're playing. These kids work very hard. There's a great deal required of them to be a member of our basketball team, and I do think our future is very bright. But once again, that's up to the kids. They need to go out and work and get in the weight room and do the things that are required of them to be a better player.
Well, good luck the next couple of weeks, leagues and districts coming up.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it.
Brad Pensyl, head coach of the Pocono Mountain West Panthers. We're going to take a